Hey, good morning or good day. I'm here to talk about activities relating to statistics, right? So, there are maraming na mga bata didiit sa palos. Parang inera nagigit statistics kasi parang bago hira. Kasi basically statistics is uh, tawag dito, support of analytical chemistry and analytical methods. So, diri ka pwede mag-answer in any analytical data without using statistics. Okay? For example, dito on your learning materials, makita ka mo, may dito studies on mean. Yeah, maya. Study dito. Ito. Ayan. So, the population mean. Ito. Okay? So, makita ka mo, so the population mean is equivalent to the sums of the population divided by the population size. So, ganyan. Sample ito yan. Okay, so basics ito yan ng statistics. Mean, median, mode, and ano pa ito, average. Yan. Ganun. So, when it comes to t-test for correlated and then t-test for independent samples, malit niya mga tinatawag mga degrees of freedom, ngayon, ano pa yun, confidence level, confidence interval ngayon. And makita ka man 0.05 ngayon, 0.01. Okay, so paano pagkuha number han tabular data dito at siring nga t-tabular data. For example, di kita hit t-test. Okay, for t-test for independent samples or correlated. Okay, so by the way, t-test is type. There are two types of tests for t-test. We have the t-test for independent and the t-test for correlated samples. So on t-test for independent samples, something that looks like this. Okay, by the way, yung libro kan niya, Sir Antonio S. Broto from the University of Eastern Philippines, ako former teacher when I was a student there. Okay, so t-test for independent samples and then t-test for correlated samples. Okay. So, may pakyana may sering danay, mga pakyana. Dito yung examples naman, mga sering. Is there a significant difference between the performance or anything at all between two samples? So, umagawas ka mo, before you answer the question, kailangan lang kumuha ka mo yung tinatawag na t-tabular value or critical value. So, ano tiya? Kaya ginagamit pag determine kung TO answer is acceptable or diri. Okay, for example, this one. So, makita ka mo, the alpha is 0.05 degrees of freedom of n sub 1 plus n sub 2 minus 2 and then, yan. Based on this example, 10 plus 10 minus 2 is 18. So, on iya, t, tabular data at 0.05 is 2.101. The t tabular value at 0.05. So, paano nakuha ang 2.101 in the t-test? Po, makadto ka mo, tinatawag nga tinatawag dito yung critical value for the t distribution. Okay, so every statistical book may dahil niya. Okay, critical value of the t distribution appendix I adapted from table 8.5. The author was taken from Flaber's Statistical Methods for Research work published by Oliver and Boyd Limited at Edinburgh. Ha? So, makuha ka mo itiya. Yan hiti pagbabasaran. Nasa yan to. What is the t-tabular at 0.05? So, makita ka mo. 0.1, 0.05, 0.025, 0.01, and 0.005. Anin iya. Ni. So in here, siya na niyo margin of error. Okay, natawag ng error. Okay, so at 0.05 there's a probability nga iyo answers around 99.5% tama and the rest the remaining 0.05 is mali. Ganyan. Okay, so gumagamit ka mo yung 0.01, ibig sabihin 99.99% if your answer is tama and the remaining 0.01 is mali. Same goes with here. So 0.1. So, ibig sabihin dito, 99% is tama, the remaining 1% is error. Pares din dito, 0.005. So mas maliit yung number, mas confident kayo sa answer nyo. Okay, so ano naman na to? These are the variables. Okay, remember the answer kanina. Remember the example kanina nga 10 plus 10 minus 2 is equals to 18. For t-test for independent samples. So, sa variable 1, for t-test independent samples, you have 10 and another 10 for the variable 2. So 10 plus 10, 20. Minus 2. 2 is constant. For t-test for independent samples lang yan, ha? 2 is constant. So 10 plus 10 equals 20. Minus 2 is 18. So that is 18. So itatab nyo yung 18. Yan. 18. Yan ha. 18. And then, you tab it against 0.05. So mga gawas, 18 at 0.05, the answer is 2.101. No. Answer is 1.734. Yan. Pero masingkam kano sir na 2.101 man dito ang ginamit. You can observe there and constant was 2. Okay? So, ang ginamit niya, you're going to divide 0.05 by 2. So, it becomes 0.025. So, again, you're going to tab 0.025 by 18. So, you have 2.101. Kala po ito, yeah. Okay? So, ini here, value, tabular value are used for t-test for independent and then t-test for correlated. In this case, correlated samples, warahit niya divisions of 2. Kasi usang malit testing. So you're only going to test the pre-test and the post-test. So usala. Okay, so she can divide. Pero in case of independent samples, since you have 2 varying variables, you're going to divide your margin of error by 2. So it becomes 0.025. So you're going to plot that 0.5 by 18. So you have 2.101. Okay? Paano naman yung sa ANOVA? Sa ANOVA, iba yung ginagamit, hindi yung t-test. Yung t-distribution, sorry. Ginagamit dito is the critical value for the F-distribution. Yan. Balik namin siya. Ayan, hindi pa plat siya. Man. So, it continues around here and here. So, paano yan? Ito. Okay, so the F distribution, it was taken from this book. It was produced. Table 18 of the Biometrica Tables for Statisticians, Volume 1. Ayan. Okay, so paano yan? Paano? Okay, take for example your example on the instrument or the learning material. So, nangyari doon, diba? Okay, ano ba dito? Let's take for example, let's take for into account the example here. Ayan, matuturi lang kita. Square. T-test, one sample mean. For example, this one. So, kung makita ka mo, kita yung table. Ito, ada man example, para sa namin yung table nila. Okay, tawag niya is the ANOVA table. Okay, so this is your B, WSS or the between sums of squares. This is your WSS or the within sum squares. And this is your TSS, the total sum squares. Ito naman yung mean squares. So, paano nakuha yung mean squares? So, the mean square was divided by here. 1.5 divided by degrees of freedom, which is equivalent to 0.75. The same goes here. 19.61 is divided by the degrees of freedom of 19. That is equivalent to 1.03. Okay, so makita mo, the degrees of freedom was added. You have here 21. Okay, n minus 1 is 21. Kalkulawa ulit niyo. Okay, so the total is n minus 1. The between groups is key minus 1, and then the within groups is n minus 1 minus key minus 1. Difference. Isa na makikita at dito hit iyo variables and your data. Diba? Yeah, this one. So you can see that 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 brands. That is the key. Key minus 1 becomes 2. So actually, siya adi. Hindi. 2. So next naman, hindi nga 19. Paano na ko yung 19? D. So you have here n minus 1. So ano yung n? N is the total number of populations or tests run. For example, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tama. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Tama. 22. Siya na. So, ida. 22 minus 2 should be 20. Draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yung mabaro na pag-iisip. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Ayan. 21, 22. 22. 22 minus 1 is 21. And then minus 2, that is 19. And then you have that, you have 21. Okay, so na yan Yan ang 21. Yung siya gagamitin pagkuha ang tabular data. Kung makita ka mong tabular data, 3.52. Tabular data, 3.52. And yung computed was 0.73. Paano nakukuha yung 0.73? Yung 0.73 is taken by ito. Dividing 0.75 by 0.103. So you divide the mean squares, the between mean squares against the within mean squares. Check that, Check that. 0.75 divided by 1. Sorry. 0.75 divided by 1.03. The answer is 0.728, equivalent to 0.73. Tama. Now, paano kung tabular? So, kanina, discuss ko, makadukitahan table. Natin F distribution table. Yan. So, kung may harapan niyo, pwede ka mo umarohin copy, pwede ko i-post dahil Google Classroom or on the Facebook Messenger group chat. Okay. Ma-post ako siguro. Ready. D. Okay, so makikita. Peraan T minus 1 total was 21. And then the degrees of freedom was 0.05. So matulaw kita. Kukalawan ninyo din ang degrees of freedom. May perat 2 and 19. So we're going to plot 2. Okay. And 2. Smaller numbers, hindi ka makuha. For greater numbers, hindi ka makuha. Plotting lang yan. Simple. So 2 and 19 was your degrees of freedom. So paano? So you plot 2. 1, 2. And then you plot 19. Tama? Yan. So you have 2 and 19 of 3.52. Tama? 3.52. Yeah. Then, kukalawan pa rin. Check type, 3.22 is correct. Ayun na. Vitesse. Hindi. 3.52. Sugal po ito. Okay? So, ikaw mo pagkukuhan kasi there are certain tendencies ginagamit yung tabular pag determine if your answer is acceptable or rejected. So, paano? If the C computed value or the F computed value is greater than the F tabular value, you reject your null hypothesis. Ano yung tinatawag na null hypothesis? Yun yung hypothesis in the negative statement. Okay? So, ganun to yan. Gusto mo rin konta nga, may na ba pagkakaiba A nga B? Gusto mo rin ka nga waray pagkakaiba A nga B, that is the null hypothesis. Kasi you're stating that in the negative. Pero sumarin ka nga may pagkakaiba A nga B, that becomes an alternative hypothesis, which is statement under the positive argument. Okay? So, ganun lang. So, if you have any questions, feel free to comment on the messenger chat or on your Google Classroom. Okay? So, have a good day.